Hi, it's Renee, the career coach, and in today's video, we are going to be talking all about personal brand and how that ties into your job search. So stick around. Now, a lot of the times when we think about a brand, we think about maybe like a product that we're buying or just something in general that is trying to be sold to us. And so we may think, why do I need a personal brand for myself in this job market? Now, to break this down for you a little bit more, I want you to imagine that you're shopping for a new phone and you've got two different options here. One is a really well-known brand. They've got all the features. They really talk about the features, how it can help you, the different aspects of this phone that make it really unique. Okay. And then on the other hand, you have this other phone that you've never really heard about. It may be great, maybe not. Now, given these two options, which phone are you more likely to buy? I think most people would go for option one, where it's a well-known brand. You know that it's going to work well, and it just stands out above the others. This is how it really works in the job search when you have your personal brand. And so there's different layers of having a personal brand and different ways that you can really incorporate this. A couple of reasons why having a personal brand is so important. Obviously, we kind of talked about it makes you memorable. If you're going into an interview and you have that personal brand, you kind of stand out. They're going to remember you as like, Jenny, she was great with sales. Or Rob over here, he was amazing at connecting with people, whatever it may be. Like, you have something that helps you stand out above others and you don't just become a mix in the crowd. The second reason why having your personal brand is so important is because it can really show your value. Again, it kind of ties into that last example of, you know, when you tell your stories in an interview or when they're reading over your resume, they're able to see, oh, wow, this person does have a lot of value because they've done X, Y, and Z, and they've made an impact where they've been previously. You want to be able to do that. You want to be that person where they look at your resume or they remember you from an interview and the value that you can bring. All right, the next thing here is it builds trust, believe it or not. If your brand and who you portray yourself as is professional and a subject matter expert, then again, you are setting yourself apart in a good way from others. And one of the best ways to do this, and we'll kind of talk about this, is your online presence. Because there's so much room for that these days, where if you're just focusing strictly on your resume, you don't really touch your LinkedIn, then it can be really hard for them to see that brand and to see what kind of impact you would make. And then finally, having a really strong brand can help you open doors. And what I mean by that is, what are we here for? Like, we really want to land job offers that excite us and move our career forward in the right direction. And when you have a really strong and professional brand, that's your personal brand, doors are going to open for you. People are going to come and approach you. Recruiters are going to come and say, hey, you know, we have this position. We think you might be a really good fit. So the kind of lays the foundation here, the framework of why a personal brand is so important. Next, I'm going to be talking about different areas where you can really start to incorporate this personal brand so that you can reap the benefits from having such a strong brand out there that people recognize you and your value. Now, one thing that I will mention is that in order to have that personal brand, you've got to start with your career story. And this is something that I talk a lot about in my career elevation course. I actually have a lesson on this and how you build your career story, because it will be woven throughout interviews, resume, LinkedIn, other parts of your job search. You're going to reference that career story. So just know that that is a big part of it, but you can still, we're going to dive into where you'll see it. Okay. So obviously on your resume, you are going to craft this career story, and it's going to show up in both how you talk about your accomplishments and how you reference the impact that you've made. Those are two huge things that people want to see on your resume. So if you can reference those, you're creating your personal brand. Okay. Next is obviously your LinkedIn. And this is also a place where you can become known as a subject matter expert, because you can create posts, you can get in groups and talk with different people, and you can build upon your expertise. So people will say, oh, wow, that was a really thoughtful post, or that was very insightful. This person really knows what they're talking about. It creates that connection right away. Now, obviously, you'll also have a personal brand in how your experience is laid out and the skills that you have. That's kind of what we're reiterating over and over again. And there's going to be that consistency. If you think about a really strong brand, there's consistency there. And so that's what you want to reflect as well, the consistency between resume and your LinkedIn. And then finally, there's also interviews. So when you are sitting in an interview and they're asking you different questions about the experiences that you've had or how you've been able to handle, situations, when you have that consistency and you're referencing back on things that tie into your career story and impact the value that you have, that is tying into your personal brand. So with all that being said, the very first place that I recommend starting in creating this personal brand of yours is your resume. And if you need help with your resume, I definitely recommend joining my resume mastery course. I go over all of this in a lot more detail about how to write your bullet points and how to tailor your resume so that you do stand out as a top candidate. And there is that consistency throughout. So that's a great place to start if you're kind of like, I don't know, I'm not getting interviews, or I don't feel confident when I submit my application with this resume and I really think it needs an upper hand. Then check out my resume mastery course. I'm going to link it down below, but that's a great place to start. So with all of this, I hope it kind of gives you a foundation for why your personal brand is so important and what that actually looks like in regards to your job search. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and you can subscribe for more content like this.